Finally. Okay. Um, this is like my, like, I don't even know how many times I've tried to do this. It's like messed up a lot. Um, I know this is probably really weird, but I just really want you to, like, be here with me and breathe with me for a second. Actually breathe though, because I didn't breathe. um, okay. I'm in a chair that squeaks a lot, so I'm sorry about that. I'm not farting or anything. um, Today is March 15th, 2018. It is a Tuesday, and I live in America. um, a year ago tomorrow, I really first started to create videos so that I could really document and really create something that I could use to process my emotions in a therapeutic, healthy, cathartic kind of way. Because what I was going through was something unlike anything I'd ever been through before. And I was asked, um, like, um, if you could, um, like, what would you change about your life, um, whether it be, like, now or, like, things that have happened to you, if you could, like, yeah, like, what would you change, like, do you have any regrets, and absolutely, like, absolutely, I have regrets that I have regrets. I mean, I have regrets that from things that I have done in my life. Would I change anything about my life? Would I change who I am? No. I mean, I could easily say I would change the way that I viewed myself when I was younger, but it wasn't ever necessarily that I ever really wasn't there for myself when I was younger. It was more so I wanted people to be there for me because, you know, it's lonely when you are around a bunch of people who seem to know who they are. And for me, I mean, massive part was being transgender. Like, I'd never met anybody who was transgender before until I was 16. I never met anybody else, and that's a long time to go through your life not knowing that there's other people out there like you. I mean, that was the first time I ever met somebody who was transgender. I was about, I was about 13, 14 years old. So, I mean, either way, I mean, it's a long time to be feeling those kinds of things and to be surrounded by people who know who they are and or at least aren't experiencing gender dysphoria or questioning their own gender identity. It was a massive thing for me. But would I change who I am and, like, what's happened in my life? No, because it wouldn't have gotten me here. I wouldn't be the person that I am now, having not have gone through those experiences of not knowing who I was. I wouldn't have been able to be on this journey that I am, this glorious road that I am so incredibly grateful to have been on in my life. Um, with regret, I think that, with when people hear regret, they think, oh no, like regret's bad. Like you don't want to regret in your life. No regrets. Um, well, I have regrets, and I don't think that that's really a bad thing, because having those regrets and being able to reflect on how I had been in my past lives, I have really been able to reflect and really be self-aware of myself, and really be like, I was like that when I was younger, and I really see now how being that way really it was ugly, and it was narcissistic, and I've been able to really hold myself accountable and take responsibility of myself through reflecting on the things that I regret having done and said in my life. And I really think that that stigma behind, regrets and stuff like that really needs to change, because I'm not perfect, and I have definitely done things and have hurt people that, because I was selfish, and because at the time, whatever I was feeling, we do a lot of things that we do because for me personally, it was because I was hurting. I was so hurt when I was younger that I didn't want to be hurt, that it wasn't about everybody else, it was about me. And if I didn't want to do something, which is okay if you don't want to do things, um, or like, you were responsible for yourself, whether it's something that whether it's like any type of action. I just didn't really, at that time in my life, like I was so hurt that I didn't really consider other people's feelings as much as I should have. I was just more concerned with me not getting hurt and being discomforted, because I could not stand to be uncomfortable. Like, I had to be in a place where I felt like I was being given love and validation, all these things, and if I didn't feel that, then I felt like, you know, lost, and I felt like, I just did whatever I could to be able to feel that way, which is, it's a really crazy road that I went down, personally, to be able to become who I am. But without realizing, how I'd been when I was younger, I wouldn't have been able to really be able to sit down with myself and be like, hey, what are you doing? I think it's just really important to have been able to be able to reflect on those things, and to not be too hard on yourself because of them, because we all have things that we've done and things that we, whether we regret them or feel bad about them, we could have handled it differently. We all have room to grow, and that's really what I want to talk about in this. I know it says don't give up, and I'll get to it. Okay, so when you feel like when you feel like you don't have a place, like, we want so badly to belong, and when we feel like the place that we really put a lot of time and effort and ourselves into doesn't want us to be there. Like when we feel like we don't have a place, or we're like, with however we're feeling about it, like the place where we want to be the most doesn't want us, that stuff changed your life. It really uproots you. It makes you feel like, because you obviously planted roots there, you really want this thing to work out. And we strive to be as comfortable as we can in places because we want so badly to belong. And unfortunately, and also not unfortunately, like I think it's a blessing in disguise, I guess. It was literally 11:11 when I said that. Not that, like, that's interesting. I don't. That was kind of weird. But anyways, yeah. Um, I think it's really important that we just remember, and stuff that, you know, that at the end of whatever we do, whether it's like with anything, at the end of all of it, at the end of the day, just remember that as shitty and awful and just as all, with all your feelings and all your feelings, just remember, just have this, like, please remember that you doing your best, no matter what the outcome is. At the end of the day, you being vulnerable, you being who you are, that I don't see how that could ever be considered a weakness. I don't see how that could ever be considered something that made you unworthy of love, because you expressing who you really are to people, and you really, like, you being you, we all want to belong. We all want to be around people that really want to be around us, and that really care about us and love us and want us to be there too. We want people that we love and care about and hold space for to hold space for us. And with no judgment, with no resentment, with no expectations on us being a certain way. We want people to love us for who we are, not their idea of us, because when we have expectations and we have, thoughts on how we want this person to be or who they should be or something, we really miss out on who they truly are. And I believe it's so incredibly important to hold space for people and just to remind them that, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how you feel, but I'm here and I'll listen, and, just be considerate and mindful of how, be considerate and be mindful of how you're treating them too, because those people are giving you their time. They are spending their life listening to you, so just be considerate of that, and just know that when you are considerate towards people, especially those who really love and care about you and show you that, it really just makes holding space open for people that much more enriching and that much more, like it gives you the air and space to grow, not only as a person but also with that person too. And just, that's what we strive for when we enter relationships of any kind. We want the people that we are spending our time on to be people that add to our life, not people that literally just take and take and take and like all that we are, and to just forget to remind them that, hey, I appreciate you, and that, hey, like, you know, just we take things for granted. And I definitely learned a lot of this stuff after um, having lost people like when they died. That was like really big things that really snapped me out of that really cloudy, like self-absorbed, like kind of thing. Because while, because like, I don't know how to, when people that we love die, it's a massive part of this whole thing. It sucks that people die, honestly. Like, I do believe in God, and I believe that we will definitely, our, this isn't for nothing. I believe that there's so much more than this. I see it, in the middle of all these wars. I see people helping other people. I see people being kind and loving towards other people and earth and animals, and just to really people that I see the good in it. And I see how, how we all really lose sight of those things, like when we really feel really bad. And I don't know, it's really easy to lose sight of what's really important to you when you feel certain ways. But I need you to know that, how you feel, you have all the right to feel that. Like, I mean, obviously, like, it's a no-brainer. But just be self-aware and just be mindful of the energy that you put out there into the world too. Because I believe that when we share with people how we feel, there are going to be a lot of people who don't agree with you, that don't like you, that don't want anything to do with you, because you're either to them too much, or, whatever their reasoning behind them not wanting you in their life. you know we but that's okay. Like, that's okay to have people that don't want to be there not be there, as shitty as that sounds. It's really okay, because in your heart, just know that while they were there, or even if they were somebody random, just know that what you were doing with your life is what you feel is best for you at that moment, and just learn from it and grow and just continue to be the best person that you can be from it too. And yeah, because all that energy and time and love and everything that you spend learning and growing and becoming the best person that you can be after going through something, that's never wasted. And I believe that you can help so many people and just remind them that they're not alone with it. But you need to be there for you too, and just remind yourself that too. Because at the end of all of it, after all of that stuff, it brought you back to yourself. And it feels really good to be able to say that I was a shitty person. Like, I was so fucking mean and really selfish and really mean. And I think I already said that, but I was just really, I was lost. And I admit that I was narcissistic. And I feel so incredibly grateful that I was able to have had this extra time that I never thought I would have, to be able to become the person that I am now, and to be able to be here when I got this phone call this morning, because it was really important for me to be able to be here for that, and to really be able to, I feel, put this out there too, even if it's all rambly and like woo woo. Like, I don't know, I heard that somebody say that, like, when they talked about their feelings and how it was woo woo, and I thought that was pretty freaking hilarious. But no, I think that at the end of all of this, I know that at the end of all of this, as hard as things are that you go through, and as sad and as as just all the feelings, feel it and heal from it. And just know that you're doing the best you can. You loved as best as you could, and you did the best that you could, and just, at that time in your life. And I don't think that that'll ever be wasted. I think that that was definitely enough. And coming back to, at the end of all of it, just being grateful that even though you don't have any control of how other people are, because you understand that, people are going to do what they're going to do, and as much as you may not agree with it or like what they're doing, if you really truly love and care about them, and get away from your bruised ego, and you don't let your soul get choked by your ego, you truly love them, then you'll just remember that, and just know that wherever they go from here, or whatever the situation is, you know that they felt like that was something that they had to do, and you just know in your heart that that was their responsibility, that was them doing that with their life, because what they do is not a reflection of you, it is a reflection of them and how they feel about things. And it may hurt, and it will hurt, and things fucking hurt, but don't deny yourself that time to grieve, and to be able to sit with yourself and be like, I'm feeling this way, and it really hurts and sucks, and it really just makes me want to cry. And please cry. It's okay to cry, and it's okay to not be okay, but don't ever let those things happening in your life, whether it's somebody leaving, or somebody dying, or whether it's with other people, or you fail a test, or lose your job, or just whatever the situation is, never let that stuff make you feel like you do not deserve to be here, because you do. You absolutely do. Yeah. And I really need to put that out there and just let you know that. Okay? So, my heart goes out to you, and if you watched this long, then thank you. And yeah, just please don't give up, because all the pain you've ever been through wasn't for nothing. Excuse me, I'm burping a lot today. All the pain you've ever been through wasn't for nothing, and excuse me again, feel feel it, feel your feelings and heal from it, and just know that you're not alone, and that this space, this is a place, while you're watching this movie, this video, just know that you are really loved and cared about. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you come from, what your background is, what your story is. I don't know how you've been to people in your past, how you are with people now, people who are different than you. Like, I'm transgender. I don't know if you even like transgender people or even know of us or anything. I don't know you. If anybody watches this, but I know me, and it's taken me a long time to be able to get to that point, and it has taken me a long time to get here, but I just really need you to know that, you know, you're meant to be here. You are, you know, that's some other woo-woo crazy stuff, but it's true, because you could have not been here, and you are, and I am so grateful that you are, and I'm so grateful that I am here too, and that I could be here, and that I could especially be here today, this morning, for that call, because like that was like incredibly important to me. um that, even if things don't seem to go the way you might have thought they would, at one point in your life, like I never thought that I'd be here a year ago today and be who I am. um to be able to I was always like this, like I was always feeling this. I just feel like my feelings have grown in a more positive, loving kind of way. I've really turned to love to be my guide, um, opposed to letting the bitterness and stuff that I could have turned out to be like, I'm really grateful for that. And I don't know, just, I'm not telling you to be like me, and that if you're not like me, that's like, you're wrong or anything like that. Like, you have to feel your feelings and you have to get that shit out, because if you hold it in, you're gonna feel that, and it's just gonna explode, and things are just not gonna work out. And like, I don't know, just please protect your soul, please protect yourself from all those thoughts and stuff like that make you feel like you're not worthy of being here, and that you want to die, and that you want to not, that you just want to give up. Because I promise you that there are people out here. The world is huge. Like, I've traveled a lot of it, and it's huge. I still want to travel more, but it's fucking huge for what I've traveled so far, and you need to see it. You need to be here for that, and you need to be here and just, yeah, I just want to remind you that you are so incredibly loved and cared about, and that you are worth me spending almost a half an hour of my life. Well, I made more videos, but definitely worth this half hour being able to express this to, because I feel like I just need you to know it. So if you are out there and you listen to this, I love you and I care about you. And I never want you to think for a moment, and even if you do think about it, I just want to remind you that you are loved and cared about, and that you are needed here. You need to stay alive, and you need to keep fighting, and just please don't give up, because there are people out here who will love you and care about you and really value you and really be those people that you've so desperately longed for to have in your life, a place where you belong. But just also remember that, you know, while you've been searching so hard to try to find people that give you that, don't leave yourself behind. Don't leave yourself behind, and forget that like your soul, like genuinely, like when I attempted suicide, I literally felt my soul leave my body, and it was like my soul and or the Holy Spirit or something like something bigger than myself was reminding me that I needed to be here and that I was gonna have people that love me too, and I just want to pass that on to you because there really are gonna be people like that, but just don't leave yourself behind. Okay, please don't. And yeah, I really need you to know that. Yeah, I've been working on some art. It's not that great. I mean, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna do some more later today, but I'm trying to work on trees. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I don't know how the lighting is, but yeah. Just just know that you're loved and cared about. Okay, never forget that. And I'm always rooting for you. And if you do need somebody to talk to or something, I mean, I'll do my best to be here and hold space and listen to you. Just yeah. Okay, this is really long. Be kind and love to everybody out there. Heart goes out to you always.